tell her to communicate.
What does that mean?
Because she's communicating with me, and I'm like, are you saying that to him?
Yeah, that is a question she always says.
Why are you always going to Maya every time we have an issue? Because she makes me feel safe. Why don't you let me help you feel safe?
Mm-hmm. My relationship with my kid's father, he was also jealous of our relationship.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah.
The guy, but she came to you for comfort, like she said she does as well. You ever push her to say, hey, you need to go deal with that with him after you've calmed down?
I tell her to communicate.
What does that mean?
Because she's communicating with me, and I'm like, are you saying that to him?
Yeah, that is a question she always says.
But now that we have our cards on the table, right? Ask yourself another question. If we both have established, meaning you and you, that we're both our sources of comfort, and we don't always deal with the person that we got wronged by or feel wronged by, right? What's the likelihood that I'm going to, even if you tell me, go communicate with him, what's the likelihood I'm going to do that?
More.
Because I'm still creating the space for you to be comfortable here, to deal with it here, which is to not deal with it, by the way.
Right.
I'm still creating that space for you. Here, come here, sit down. We'll lay on the couch. But we're not dealing with the stuff.
Yeah.
So then it perpetuates. And then eventually I might feel some type of way towards you. Why are you always going to Maya every time we have an issue? Because she makes me feel safe. Why don't you let me help you feel safe?
This isn't the first time that has happened, because my relationship with my kid's father, he was also jealous of our relationship.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah. And it just created this big, huge mess.
That makes sense, though, the way you put it.
Yeah. So we do both.
You probably lean on each other.
A lot.
Which is not a bad thing, by the way. It's not. But maybe you're doing it too much, particularly when it comes to issues with a partner. You got to deal with your partner. Because unfortunately, I'm sure you know, because if it could work, it would have worked already. Unfortunately, talking to Ari about it doesn't fix the problem with him. And you talking about the problem with your ex doesn't fix, or talking with Maya doesn't fix the problem with him. You have to go to the person if you want to fix it.
I think another thing with us doing that is because we've tried with that person.
How many times?
I don't know how many times you and Reese have.
No, speak for yourself.
For me, it was a few times I tried with him, but it was so much easier to talk to her.
Of course it was.
Like, I just clam up with him. But everything that I wanted to say in the moment with him
comes out with her.
Spills right out.
Do you know why that is?
Because she's my comfort.
Correct. Because you guys created that, not because Maya's that special and you're that special. You guys built that over 13 years.
Yeah.
That's why.
Makes sense.
So we don't just develop comfort instantaneously. You have to build it.
Yeah.
The same thing with the relationship.
Right.
I have to put in the effort. Like, we don't, unfortunately, I know this because I have to build relationships with people all the time. Unfortunately, on day one, it's not like, oh my God, I'm going to spill my whole soul out to you. No, they're looking at me like, I got to see if I even want to tell you.
Right.
I have a good feeling about you because I talked to them once before. But I don't know you. So I'm going to see how much I want to share with you. I'm going to see how I feel. What's the vibe, the energy like between me and you. And I'll see and decide if I want to share that information with you or not. So that's how it starts. But you guys got 13 years in the game. So of course there's going to be inherent comfort. You've put 13 years in. It's like a marriage.
It is.
Right? So if I want my relationship with my partner to even have a fraction of the level of connection that I have with you or with you, I got to put in the effort, which means I maybe can't run to you every single time I have an issue. I need to deal with it with you. Or if I'm you, same thing.
Right.
If I wanted to grow to that point where I feel like you just know me. because nobody just knows anybody. You've let me in so much that I know a lot about you. I still don't know you, but I know a lot about you because you've let me know so much about you, and I appreciate that.
Yes.
Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
Right.
It's not gonna go that easy at first.
It's okay. Change is different. It's
At least
challenging.
we're aware about it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we never looked at it like that. I was just like, what's the issue? Because I'm just so used to being there for her.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what you just said. I'm used to.
Yeah, it's just like.
Of course you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
You
It's
put that
just-
much time in.
Yeah.
I mean, you should.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not used to you because we're trying to build something.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you guys built it. The difference is maybe, because you've had a relationship for so long, you forgot that you built it.
Yeah.
You've gotten so comfortable with things. You forgot that there was a time that you
Yeah.
didn't know each other.
Because we were so young at the time.
Correct.
We're kids.
Right. But it started somewhere. You
Right.
didn't come out your mother's womb saying, oh, yep, that's my bestie.
Yeah.
You had to build it over years.
Right.
So now you're like, oh, okay. Now I feel more comfortable with you. Now I can tell you just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then your guy, and that's interesting, right? Your guy said the same thing. You felt like they were jealous or they had an issue with the way you guys were approaching maybe communication with issues that you guys were having with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
But you're running to your comfort, which doesn't allow you to deal with it. And it effectively keeps them on ice all the time
Mm-hmm.
because you're not letting them in.
Yeah.
Makes.
It's like you're watching us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the audience right now. Like, let's say I was trying to deal with an issue and they're just watching us like, I can't do anything for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are in the moment. You actually get to deal with the stuff. I don't have that privilege because you don't let me in to actually know you in that way. That to me is real intimacy.
Yeah.
Put your guard all the way down. You're not even thinking about how I might perceive things as much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying in a perfect world. I'm saying this is practical. I feel so comfortable with you because we put in so much effort that I can tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I can be honest with you. I'm not saying always right in that moment. I might need, to collect myself or collect my thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll tell you everything because that's how much I value you. That's what vulnerability is. That's why I call it a privilege,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people who are in relationships, they don't know the real person because they don't tell them a lot of that stuff that really they think about or that they've
Right.
struggled with. I get to learn a lot of that, and I do consider it a privilege because that takes a lot for somebody to let their guard down to want you in.
Right.
Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a point where you might want to consider how you guys are approaching that, because especially if you're noticing it happen with both of you,
Mm-hmm.
these guys, they're not the same person, and yet they came to a similar conclusion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I would challenge any of us. If you hear a lot of people saying the same thing, it doesn't mean they're right, but just at least be curious. Why did they both say the same thing?
We were curious. but
Yeah,
never knew.
we were both like, what's the
Like,
issue?
why do you feel like that? It's
like it's so normal for us. So like,
Of course it
what's
is.
going on? And then not only that, my ex was more. I feel like he was way worse than Reese. Like way worse. But he would just like not even like me texting her. And I think it was more like, you value her way more than you value me, and we're supposed to be together.
Wow. Beautifully said.
And which I did.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think that feels being the man in that situation? To hear somebody, like, let me reflect back to you what you said,
Mm-hmm.
because we're all sitting here, right? So we're in a relationship and you say, I feel like you value Maya more than you do me as your partner. And you're like, of course I do.
That was my exact answer. Which,
So that's what I'm saying. So now think about, so I'm your guy.
yeah.
And you say, of course I value her more than you. But you're trying to build with me.
Mm-hmm.
That would
But
create
you're telling me
insecurities.
right now to my face that you
Yeah.
value her way more than me.
Yeah.
How do you think that might make me feel?
Hurt. A
Yeah.
little angry
Possibly.
because you're trying to build with me,
Mhm.
but I'm over here wanting to continue to build with her
Mhm.
when I should be building with you
That's right.
because she's always gonna be there.
Right. That's your friend.
Yeah, it's my best friend.
Right. Sure, that's your best friend. And it doesn't have to take away from that.
Yeah.
Right. But we're trying to build something. So it inherently makes it harder. It doesn't have to be an either or. This is, again, it's not black or white thinking. It's not my best friend or my boyfriend or my best friend or my partner. That's how sometimes we frame that stuff. When we say things like you're jealous.
Yeah.
It's not about that. But you're not creating an environment to allow me to feel secure, because you're essentially telling me that this person is always a threat to us. Because when we're trying to build something, you run to her.
Man, that's exactly how it is.
So how are we supposed to build? I will tell you this. No man could ever overcome that. If somebody tells you that, I don't care, put the most perfect man into existence right now, and you tell him that, no man will ever overcome that. Every man will feel hurt, probably devastated, and eventually he'll leave. Hopefully, if he respects himself, he'll leave, because he'll recognize he's always going to be at arm's length from her.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I don't need you. Going back to, we were talking earlier about needing. I don't need you. I got Maya. What do I need you for? That's another way to interpret that. I don't need to let you in because she fulfills that need. But I thought we were having a relationship. Shouldn't I fulfill that need?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I get it.
I don't know. I think your predicament's different.